Eyal has been working with Odette until now, building out the Unicko and Qualified Tutor partnership, which is really exciting for us because, as you know, anytime that we get to bring developments in education technology to tutors is a win for us. There is a different right way for each of us to be delivering our tutoring, and Odette and I are really passionate about finding the right option for you. So I've shown up at this session with curiosity to find out what Eyal has up his sleeve, what he's going to show us today. Before we start, and Helen, please do unmute and put your camera on if you can so that we can engage properly. Before we start, John, Jane, and Mel, could you give us a sense of whether you had any experience of Unicko and whether any specific problems you're trying to solve during the session? So, Jane, you're shaking your head.
No, I haven't. Okay. This has been the first opportunity that I've been available at 11 a.m. to join
11 a.m.
QT. So I'm just curious to be involved with everything.
Super. We are so chuffed that you are. John, also open-minded, fantastic. Mel, Helen, anything particular that you're trying to solve in terms of your own online platforms? Okay, dokes. Eyal, over to you. Please give us the story and give us the demo.
Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Eyal. I'm very excited to be here and to demonstrate Unicko and what's it about. In a few words, Unicko is a virtual classroom where I think the main advantage is that it has everything in one place. Like you have a whiteboard here, you can upload material to the class. You can prepare it in advance. The whole idea is to be able to give a lesson to your students as teachers or as like managers of tutoring companies. Whole idea is to give a lesson from one place without having to rely on external tools if you don't want to. Of course, you can if you want, but if you don't have to, that's perfect. So everything is in one place. You can do meetings with camera, with audio and video. You can control whether students will show their webcams or their screens or not. You have every possible of controlling, but the main idea is to be able to pass a lesson which is as professional as possible for the teachers. And what I am about to show you today is I will go over all the functions in Unicko. I must say that a virtual classroom has a lot of functions, okay? You shouldn't, as teachers or as managers, you shouldn't use all those features in one lesson or in one class because the virtual classroom is built in order to give options for various use cases. But I will go over everything or most of the functions in order for you to learn and to see and to be able to think what you will be able to use if you were using Unicko as a virtual classroom. So,
Eyal, just to pause you there for a second. Firstly, I wanted to share that I feel like every time you see how other people do it, you get better ideas for your own tutoring. So it's inspiring to see what other people, what resources they might use. And the other thing is, usually these demos are quite interactive. If you have any questions as we go along, drop them in the chat. And when Eyal comes to a pause, I'll open up for group discussion. Is that all right? Great, go for it.
Julia, before you go any further, can I just, I've sorted it. Can you, I have to leave at 11:30. I'm afraid I have a class.
Oh, thanks for the warning. Thanks for the heads up. Fantastic. There will be a recording of this made available afterwards if there was anything that you wanted to follow up with. Eyal, let's go.
Okay, so let's start. As you can see, we can do a meeting with audio and video conferencing where you see all the cameras. But now I want to move over into showing you some files that I've uploaded in advance. For example, I have a Gmat file where I can just click on it and show it to you. When you show content like files or whiteboards or your screen, you can see that cameras move aside automatically, and then you can just focus on the content. And now here we have I don't know, a GMAT example, GMAT file with some examples. Let's say that I want to solve question 2. Now, Unicko is very interactive. I mean, you can create polls, you can create quizzes, you can ask students to participate, you can ask them to solve by themselves. But let's start with me showing you how I solve it, and then I will show the interactive features that we have here. So let's say I want to solve question 2. And I want to solve question 2, but I want to solve it independently. So I'm thinking about Unicko as a physical classroom where I can show on one side, I can show the files or the presentations. And on the other side, I have a whiteboard where I can, use my pen or use my board in order to write. So for example, I will cut some of parts of of the file and place it on the whiteboard. I will later show how I do it all. I will place it on the whiteboard for you, and now I have a clean whiteboard with the questions. And now I ask you, 34 is what percent of 80? In my opinion, the correct answer is C, but it doesn't matter if we don't calculate it for now. And I can solve it. If I have a digital pen and like a digitizer or a tablet, I can even write and do the math and the calculations. So now I'm showing you how the whiteboard works. So I can write, I can calculate how much 34 out of 80 is. So I have all the features inside my whiteboard. I can also use math functions. So I can put it here. Let me show you how it's done. 1 second. And I can put math functions like 34 out of 80 is 0. I think that's the correct answer. And of course, I have many other possibilities on my toolbar, which I can show in a second. But I can move again. I can move from whiteboard back to the files. Copy my questions, move back to the whiteboard. So I have every control in one place where I can show files, show content on the whiteboard. Files can be static like PDFs and images. They can be interactive like presentations with animations. They can be videos or YouTube clips and so on and so forth. So let's go back to the whiteboard, and I want to show you how I control things. So I will share my screen, okay? And I hope you see my share screen now. I'm screen sharing, so you see the share screen with my cameras on the side. And what I have here that you don't for now, is I have controls on the right panel. So on the left panel, I see you and the chat and participants, but on the right, I have controls. Under controls, I can move between the GMAT file. If I click it, I'm going back to the GMAT file. I can click on the whiteboard, go to the whiteboard. I can click on cameras and move you back into meeting mode, into cameras. I have here another option. So I have controls here. Students can also control if I give them permission to do it, but I have it here. So let's click on the GMAT file. Now I see the GMAT file. And if I click on whiteboard, then I'm going back into the whiteboard. If you have any questions at any time, you can stop me. You don't have to write on the chat itself.
I think that was very helpful to see the student view first and then the tutor view. That was a lovely place to start.
Yeah. So student view, I can show it again. If I go to screen sharing, student view don't have control. In student view, you just see the chat, you see all the cameras, and you see the content in the middle. You just don't have controls. If I want to give controls to someone, let's say I want to give controls to Hasmik or to Helen, then I click here and I make them presenter. As presenter, you see they have a blue star, and blue star presenters have the options to control. So now, I'm sorry. So now, who did they give control? Hamzik. Okay. Hamzik has controls on the right side, and they can control as teachers and do whatever me as the host are doing. We cannot have multiple presenters, one presenter at the time, but we can have multiple hosts or co-hosts. I mean, if you predefined it before class, so you can have multiple hosts in class, all have controls, and one student can be a presenter also, Julia. So again, everything is in one place, and on the right side you have those controls. And let's now go forward into showing you some other kind of files. For example, I have here some presentation about penguins. And if I click on the presentation, I will show you that I can play the animations. So you can upload presentations into Unicko. It keeps the animations. It's just PowerPoint presentation. And I can click and move over the functions that I have or the features that I have inside the presentations. Presentations can have also video or YouTube embedded in them, and Unicko shows that. So let's, for example, see a short video about those penguins. Okay, it's very short. It's about 10 seconds. I can pause the video at any time and talk about it. For example, if I have an educational video and I want to stop it at a certain point and talk about it, I can do it to give discussion. And then again, I can copy from the presentation. Let me show you, or from the clipboard. It doesn't matter. I can copy content and put it, just place it inside in my whiteboard. So this is another example. So I ask you a question and I want you to participate. How far do emperor penguins trek each winter? And I have like 4 answers. And for that, I will create a very quick poll, okay, with 4 options, A, B, C, D, and I will ask you to participate and try to estimate what would be the correct answer. If you can click A, B, C, or D. Now, as the host, I can see the votes. I have a histogram of the votes. By the way, most have answered correctly. The correct answer, I must say, is 100 kilometers, if I remember it correctly, but I'm not sure about it, to be honest. So this is a very quick poll in order to make the lesson more interesting, to get information if students understood what I was talking about as the teacher. So this is very quick. You don't have to prepare it in advance. You can make polls or quizzes which you pre-prepare, which are more in depth and more thorough in question, but I will show it in just a second. Do you have questions up till now?
Mohammed, you had a question. Do you want to unmute yourself and ask for yourself, or would you like me to speak on your behalf? Okay, so the question was, can we control students' camera or audio?
Yes. I'm not sure I understand what is control, but yes, you can grant permission to specific students or to the whole class. You can control the view. For example, if I want to focus on the active speaker, I can just focus on the active speaker. I can put the active speaker as the main speaker. I can have 2 active speakers, for example, and to show students at thumbnails, I can lock on specific student. Julia, now your camera is locked. So I can decide whether to show cameras, whether students can show cameras or not, whether to focus on specific ones or not. So in general, yes.
When?
Sorry, Julia, we can't hear you. Yeah.
You cannot enable a student's camera if they haven't put the permission on their side.
No, we
right.
cannot. It's a privacy thing.
Exactly right.
Students have to click on the on cameras in order to turn it on.
But you could mute a student if you needed to?
Yes.
And could you, so in terms of safeguarding and privacy, so if you needed to turn a camera off, could you?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Of course, this is very important, and you can also decide whether you want your lesson to start with permissions or without them.
Can I see whose phone is ringing? That would be interesting. I'm coming to you in a second, Jane. Somebody's phone was ringing there, but I couldn't see on the screen who it was. Were you able to see?
No, because we were talking, so we were the active speakers, so it showed our name. Okay.
Got it. Jane, what's your question?
Do the students have to grant permission for their camera and their microphone each time, or is it just done once for the first session and then it's...
You have the controls. You can define it for be automatically and start with permissions, or you can either define that you have a class that you want to start without permissions and then either give to the whole class or specifically one by one.
Thank you.
Jane, what would the scenario be for you?
Well, I do one-to-one mainly at the moment. So I'm just thinking, if every week all my students have to grant permission for the cameras to go on and the mics to go on, because for some of my students that might be frustrating.
So for you, you'd only want it to be one time to set the permissions, and then they wouldn't have to. So like a single sign-on, right? Just make it as simple as possible. Yeah.
That's a very good question, because it allows me to answer even more about the Unicko classroom. This Unicko room or meeting room is kept. It's the same. You can use the same room with the same link over and over again for classes, and you can predefine it to grant permissions when they start, and it's automatically. You don't have to do it every week over and over again. All the material that you were taught is kept in class. The whiteboard still keeps the material. All your presentations and files are kept within the room. So it's persistent room.
Oh, that's going to be well. John, just a second. Tamara would love to know why she's showing up as a green box.
Sorry?
Tamara
is
green. She doesn't mean to be green. She didn't set it up to look like that. Is there a technical issue maybe that we could help her with?
Oh, no, Tamara, you just have to go to more and go to video settings. Here on video settings, you would have some of the cameras. I guess it picked the default camera, and you can change the cameras accordingly. Okay. So more video settings.
Fantastic. Thank you. Tamara, we're looking forward to seeing your face. John, go ahead.
Yeah, I use PowerPoint presentations quite a bit on multi-screen. So I've got notes on one side and the main thing on the other. But the way I have to do it at the moment is share the screen to get the PowerPoint main thing across. How can I get around that? I want to keep the notes, you see, on the other monitor.
Yeah, so you can share your screen. You can still share screen in Unicko. I will show it. But if you upload the presentation into Unicko, so you have it on the side in here, you have I have my penguins presentation here, and I just have to click on it in order to show it as a content on the middle for everyone. Now, if you want notes on the side, you can still have two or multiple screens and put your notes on the side, but Unicko can keep your presentation. If you click on it, you're just here, and you can annotate, you can write on it, you can do everything you want on the presentation, which is uploaded into Unicko.
Okay.
Yes, Mel.
Hi, I've got a pending Zoom subscription renewal, and I'd much rather give my money to Unicko. But there are a couple of features that I'm using in Zoom that I really quite like. And one of them is when I share screen, I can annotate over anything on the internet or any PowerPoint presentation. So is it possible to do that in your software?
So yes and no. The direct answer is no. You cannot annotate on screen sharing. because it's a browser-based technology. So you don't have to install anything with Unicko. It's browser-based, but you can copy everything that you want from your screen into the Unicko whiteboard. So in a different way, you can put it on the whiteboard and just annotate with the whiteboard. And you can even save, students can save the whiteboard as PDF files at the end of the session. So the whiteboard is a very strong feature in Unicko. I would say don't annotate on the screen sharing, but copy material, copy your teaching materials to the whiteboard and then work on one whiteboard.
Okay, and what if the items that I'm interacting with on the screen are moving parts?
Yes, so if they are interacting parts, so you will have to share your screen, but then annotation you won't be able to annotate on the shared screen.
Okay, and I use quite a lot of PowerPoints that I haven't made myself, and they've got a lot of moving parts in them as well. There's a lot of clicking to do in there. How does that transfer into Unicko? Does Unicko still manage to have the moving parts from the PowerPoint?
Yes. So our technology, we just upload them into Unicko, and we do the technological manipulation in order to keep these presentations animations, and then you can just animate on the screen, and of course you can annotate on the presentation itself.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, John.
2 points on Zoom. Zoom on the paid version has a second camera. I use it often to share documents that I don't already have copied in somewhere. Do we have that facility here? And the second question is, how many students can I have on at a go?
Okay, I'll start with the second question because I didn't quite understand the first one, sorry. So you can have up to 10, it depends on the account, on the plan that you choose. You can have up to 10, up to 100, 200, 500,000. So it depends on your use case. So that's for the second question, the number of participants. First question was that you use 2 cameras.
Yeah, you have an option to bring in on the advanced add-on. I have a second camera over here, which can, if I've got documents that I need to share that I haven't already scanned in.
Oh, okay, for a document. So no, you don't have this option in Unicko. You do have an option to put another user as student, which has, for example, if you open one in Google Chrome and another browser like in Firefox, then you can have those 2 cameras join in the same room with Unicko. It's not a problem. So we have a technical way to solve it.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to have to go in a couple of minutes because I have a class at 11.
John, were there any further questions? Did you want to explore John's going to have to go in 6 minutes. So Eyal, do you want to explain about the different accounts and use cases at this point? Or do you want to continue the demo and John will follow up?
No, I will continue the demo, then I will explain at the end. Okay. So John,
okay,
you will see it on
Yeah, that's fine. I can look at that later.
Okay. Fantastic. And Mohammed had a question as well. Can we show more than one video to students at the same time, like side by side?
What do you mean by videos?
Mohammed, are you happy to unmute and speak for yourself? I think it'll be an animation, like a YouTube video.
Oh no, but you can have multiple videos on the side, on my side, and then play them one by one, but not one next to the other one at the same time. Okay.
So you could tee both of them up and play them in sequence.
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, go for it. Let's hear some more.
Yes. So
wait, can I just ask a question about cameras? Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Jane.
I use my Hue camera quite a lot to share. Can I share this on Unicko?
Yes, you can put your camera, of course. You can use it, or or you can just copy them into Unicko, whatever. The same way that you use in Zoom, you can use in Unicko with minor differences. For example, like what Mel asked, that you cannot annotate on screen sharing. But of course, you can use your camera, you can share your screen, you can copy to the whiteboard. You can use all the Unicko features.
I think Mel has a question here as well. Yes, go ahead, Mel.
Sorry, I don't have another question, but it just looks like a really good functional package. So I would like to give it a try. I've just been informed by my husband that I don't have much time left to spend on this call either, I'm afraid. I would like to follow up. I don't want to just run and have no follow-up.
So I must say that, okay, I'll answer.
I have to go. I'm sorry. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much.
I'll catch up later.
Have a good session.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, done.
We are very responding quickly when you need us. We give excellent service. We are at the same time zone with the UK. I must say that Unicko is working for a few years under the NTP program in the UK with the companies that provide these solutions. So we are working in the UK quite a lot. It's not a problem, Mel. If you'd like to try Unicko, we give qualified tutor a 3-month free trial. So it's a very long time for you if you'd like to use it. So it's great, no problem. Just contact Julia or someone from QT or us, and we'll be happy to assist. Okay.
So to clarify, there'll be an email following up to let you know how to find out more about Unicko straight after this session.
So great. So I'll move to the next features. Bye, Mel.
Thank you.
Next feature is a text editor. If you are teaching English or languages and you want to use the text editor, this is a text editor. It's common, it's collaborative, everybody can type at the same time. You can, do summaries of meetings. We have the screen sharing feature, and we have many other features which I'd like to show now, not in details as I showed the others, but I'd like to show many other features. So some of the features which you can see here are, for example, breakout rooms. If you need breakout rooms, you do have them. Breakout rooms are rooms that you can send students in order to do private work or self-work. You can assign these students to rooms automatically or manually. For example, if I want to create 2 rooms and select who will go to this room, I can do it and then start the breakout rooms. It's a feature. It's a well-known feature in other programs also. We do have a split whiteboard option. For example, if I have a whiteboard with files or with questions that I want students to work privately on, I can select to send students to work privately, each one on their own whiteboard, not on a common whiteboard. And then they can do like a tutor session or a few minutes to work privately and alone. The same goes for screen sharing. If I'm passing, for example, a coding session where I want to see multiple screens of my students who work privately, then I can allow every student to share their own screen. Me as the host, I can see multiple screen sharing and focus on certain screens in order to help students, but I can send them to self-working. So within class, I can decide whether I want to send students to work privately for a few minutes and then go back. Last but not least, we have the poll, the quiz and poll options, and I want to show you. If I click on this plus sign here, if I click on it, then I hope you still see my share screen. Then I go to Unicko Forms. I have them 2 open here, so I will just close one. I'm going to Unicko Form. I can create an advanced poll or an advanced quiz. For example, if I want to create a quiz, put a question here, put a title, let's call it quiz 1, and the description I will not put in the time. And the question is, for example, let's say, what is the capital of England? Okay, and now I have few options. I can put here London, and I can have some more options. For example, Washington, and you do understand the idea. I can select I can create this quiz with multiple choice question, multiple answer questions where I have a few correct answers. Short answer, which are open short answer questions or open long answer questions. I will just focus on very simple quiz for now. I will save my file as a quiz, and it is saved on my computer. I will go back to the classroom, and then I will upload the file that I've just created. I will look for it. I'm sorry, quiz. It will take me a second. Quiz. And I've uploaded to Unicko, and I have here on the right side quiz. Again, I can do it in advance before class. And if I click on quiz, now I have a quiz for everybody. I can start it, and then I'm waiting for your answers. So if you please answer, so I see the answers, everybody answered correctly. Now, these quizzes are saved in Unicko, and you can save the answer file, you can save the files from this platform while you are in the session, or after the session. It is kept and it is saved on your Unicko account, and you can follow the questions and review the student's answer, and so on and so forth. So I have the options to also do polls and quizzes which are advanced. Let me reset it. Go back to cameras. So I think that I've covered most of the features in Unicko. We have more, but I don't want to go into more details right now. You did get the idea, and please, if you have any more questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Julia, we can't hear you. Yeah, okay.
Sorry, I'm juggling, as you can see. Karen, Jane, Lena, any questions? Tamara, anything you wanted to add? I see that you solved the camera issue, so that was cool. Okay. Oh, you still can't get it to work. You changed the background, but it's still not working. Eyal, would you like to see if we can solve it for Tamara?
Yes. Maybe if we go on, and then I'll feel some time, and I'll be happy to help her. Or do you want to do it now? I want to show about the Unicko plans, and then Tamara, will you be able to stay for a few minutes?
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, I hope that's okay. Yeah, lovely.
Okay, thank you so much.
It's nice to get these technical things solved when we're exploring a technical.
Yeah, of course.
No, we must do that. Okay, let's go.
Okay, so let me share my screen. Go here. If I go to the Unicko website to pricing, so I have here the options. So for one-on-one meetings, it's cheaper. For up to 10 participants in a meeting, this is the price per license. I mean per teacher. And if I want larger meetings, then this is the price, up to 100 participants. Again, for QT, we offer a 3 months free trial. Just contact us. Julia, you said that you will send the information and we'll give it to you. But these are the prices for the plans if you tend to use them even after your trial.
Eyal, I think the reason why we love that 3-month trial is that it gives us a chance to wet our feet without making any commitment. And then if we love it, then it's great value, and we feel like we've benefited from a discount because of those 3 months that we enjoyed it for free. So, exactly. For example, when Melanie said that she has a subscription up for renewal, it's great timing to take the opportunity for a 3-month free trial, because then she can make a decision and she's got plenty of time to do that. So I really love that you guys arranged that, because I think it's just the most supportive way to let the tutors have a go. I think the other thing that's really important for tutors is that you stick around. So I was just messaging Hannah and Odette, and they confirmed with me that there is a Unicko section in the QT community. Now that's where qualified tutor members go to stay connected and ask their questions. So if we can have you in there picking up notifications when people are jumping in and asking their questions, that's going to be the most responsive and supportive way to help our members. So what that means is that when members join up for their 3-month free trial, they'll be able to ping any questions in the QT community, and Eyal will be there to answer them.
Gladly.
Very pleased with that. Thanks.
So thank you very much, everyone. If you have any more questions, I'll stay here for a few minutes. But thank you so much for your time.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Jane. Thanks, Hasmik. Thanks, Helen. Thanks, Karen. Thanks, Lena. Thanks, Mohammed. Thanks, Tamara. And thanks as well to John and Mel, who had to leave early and will be following up with the recording. Eyal, thank you for your partnership. It makes a big difference to tutors to feel seen and supported. Oh, thanks so much. Thank you, Karen. That's great. Tamara, let's see if we can help you.
Tamara, yes.
Can we get your audio on at least?
No, yes.
Tamara, can you click on your microphone at the bottom? Yeah. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good.
How are you?
I'm all right, thank you.
Great. Tamara, can you please share your screen with us? I will stop the recording now.